Hi, I'm Don Gilbo. On this episode of Antique Auto Body, we're working on an Isuzu pickup chop top. It's a 1990 model. This truck's had a lot of modifications done to it already, and we're just doing the top right now. So let's go check it out. And what we did was, initially looking at this project, we had to determine a good place to start for a chop top. You can see we got all the glass out, interior's out, obviously. And so starting off with, this truck is now 3 inches shorter than what it was to start with. And I kind of go through here and explain a little bit how this went about. But initially I started off with the doors. Obviously a straight up and down area like this, just taking 3 inches out, and then that piece was reused in other areas of the truck. Moving to the front of the door, pretty challenging, measuring from the bottom of the window frame up 1 foot, and then putting a mark here, moving over parallel approximately 4 inches, straight up measuring, coming up with a measurement of 15. It's 1 foot 15. There was our 3. That gave us our 3 elevation that needed to come out. So anyway, we ended up with about a 4-inch piece cut out there in the angle. This piece that came out of the angle was able to be used to modify into the top of the door rail. So there you have it. Both doors chopped 3 inches lower than originally. Worked out pretty good. Using a skill saw with a metal cutting blade, by the way, to get a really straight cut. It's a good idea, so that when you're assembling the door, you know you've got a nice fit, everything fit together real nicely in here, and it's ready for body work. This isn't the finished product, obviously. Moving on to the roof area. The roof had to be cut into 4 sections in order to get wider. As the roof came down lower, it needed to get wider and longer. Initially starting off with, I decided to cut the back window frame out. The entire window frame out of the truck would be the best approach. Using a handheld metal cutting blade and putting little cuts here initially around in the corners, we're able to take off with a steel cutting sawzall blade, a sawzall, and cut the back window frame out of the truck cab. Now what you see, the back window frame is 3 inches lower than what it was to start with. But that was set aside. After that was cut out, it was set aside. And then measuring the roof all out, determining the best way to cut it all anyway. It was pretty simple here with a straight up and down area to take 3 inches out of this area here, measured out exactly. It was approximately this high approximately. That area had to be cut out, so that could be lowered 3 inches. Cutting the front post, a lot more challenging to measure. I don't have enough time to go into detail, but it was very difficult to measure that, determine exact cutting location for that. Once the roof was removed from the truck, then it had to be cut into 4 sections. You can see what we have here is some filler metal that's been welded in, and reattaching the 4 pieces to the truck cab was much easier using a steel rod of sort like this is all thread, a piece of all thread. Let's try to get a little closer so you can see that. Putting a piece of all thread in right underneath the metal roof sections there, and in 3 locations, one in the middle there. I've got one right there in the center of the windshield. Clamping those into place helped line the roof panels up, and then obviously welding in some additional metal in the roof to get those gaps filled. And then once the roof panels were welded together, was able to go back and fit the rear window area back into the cab. And then it also had some metal that had to be welded in on the sides, as well as you can see here in the center, it had to be that metal had to be filled in as well. So at this point we're ready to do our body work on the welded areas. I'm going to smooth everything up. It worked out pretty neat. I think he's going to be happy with this. So once again, I want to say thanks for watching. If you have any antique auto body needs or auto body needs in general, give us a call. Area code 785-246-4637. And once again, thanks for watching.